All right, welcome back, my fellow React developers. It's also important for me to note that we didn't invite or involve the navbar section, the navbar on our work. We also need to get the navbar as well. So I'm going to also put this here, the navbar and homepage UI. Okay, so let's go back to our browser. Okay, so this is the browser. Like you already know, this is our local host, the port number. So the local host is just using your system locally to host the project. However, you can't send this link to your friends or fellow developers to view your project because this local host is just a server locally hosting this React project on your system. So the port number is just an entry point into the server. So every server has the ability to accept requests, process the request, and send back the process request as a response. All right. So you need a port number into that server. All right. So this is the port number, and I said the default is 5173, but this is already in use on my system. That's why you're seeing 5174. All right. So this tab here, I would like for us to take this Vite plus React and this Vite logo out. I would like us to have ours on it. All right. So we'll need this logo. So like I said, for you to grab this, you just double tap. You see, by the time you put your cursor, you hover on it, it shows you the border of this entire nav. All right. But that's not what I need. So if you come here and you tap on it twice, it gives you these two features together. That is how the UI UX designer designed it. But I don't need this. This is supposed to be a text. I'm not downloading this text along with this. No, I need just this image. So you go back to this part, just double tap twice. And that's all. So you've selected it. You have highlighted what you need from it, right? So you come all the way to preview. Okay. So I would like to download this image. So I would prefer to use SVG. Anyone works fine, actually. Just want to use SVG. Then an export. When you export, it's going to download for you outrightly. All right. So I will just click on it. Then I will save it up on my save as. I'm going to save it up in my public folder. I'm going to save it up in my public folder. So you can place yours in your, please just do the same thing I'm doing. You have to locate your work and save it up in your public just for this particular work. Okay, so just save yours so that you can gain access to it. All right, so I'm saving mine in my public. However, I also want to change the name. Changing the name to, I'm going to edit the name to nav logo. So share my browser. Just once you are done exporting, it is going to download for you. Then try to locate it on your download on your system. Then cut it and place it into the public folder in your tax duty app. All right. So here we go. Okay. So this is the public. Here I have the nav logo. So you can also edit it here if you choose to. You can rename it. All right. So I'm going over to my index.html. Okay. So I'll just change this name to task duty. Then the logo, this is where it's actually, you can actually do the editing. So just clear this off and I'll go with nav-logo. So if you are done with that, if you go back to your browser, you should have task duty here. Well, my image isn't reflecting yet. I think I didn't call the name properly. So let's go back and see what I did wrong. Okay, nav logo. Okay, I didn't call the file name properly. .svg. .svg. Here you have it. So if we go back to my browser, you should be able to have it there now. Exactly. So tax duty, then you have the logo. Okay. So moving on, just tap this to close that part. All right. So this is going to be the home page, all tasks page, new tasks page, edit page. So they are all pages. So it's not nice for you to have components, you know, React is component based. It's not nice for you to have components written all over. It's best practice to have folder structure. So I'm going to create a folder called pages right under or right inside my SRC folder. So pages is where I'm going to create every single component as pages as well. All right, so let's go over there. Okay. So we have it here. So I'm done with this public. Inside my SRC, you just create pages. In the pages, I will click on it, ensure you are lighting that part. Do not put your cursor here and create a file. So I'm closing that. I'm placing my cursor. You can see it's highlighted thick blue here. So you go to File, uppercase.gsx, then the template RAFCE. So just want to use empty React fragment. Then I could easily go with maybe a main that has H1, then drop home. So we have other pages there. I'll just create one more, not more than that. Just go with all task.gsx, RAFCE. I would also go with React empty fragment, main, H1. We would also need we'll need new task as well. New task.jsx, RAFCE. H1. Then would also need edit, which I would not call edit. I'll just call it task. Task.jsx, RAFCE. Okay. We would also need one more page, which is going to be called error page, in case someone goes to a page that is not on our project. So we'll just give it error page.jsx, RAFCE. We're not given that design. We can formulate one ourselves. Main, H1. Okay. So now we have all these on our work. Okay. But we need to route to those pages. That is where React Router add-on comes to the rescue. All right. We need to route to these different pages. Okay. So the next thing to do, we've already installed React Router add-on. You just go to your app.jsx. So you need to import browser router, import routes, import a single route from React Router DOM. Okay, so the very first thing you need to do here, so this indicates that we are routing, and this is just a singular route. Like if you are going to home page, this route is what is going to help you navigate, or it gets that home page for you. If you are going to sorry, you can't go to error page. If you are going to all task page, going to new task page, those components, this is what would hold them. then this route is what enables the routing to actually work properly. As you can see, it renders a branch of that best matches that current location. So the very first thing we're going to do here is to have a browser router, open and close component. Then you go with routes, open and close components. So we go with individual component that we want to route to. So we'll go with route. This is going to be a self-closing tag. We need a path. So the home page ideally is supposed to be / or index, but I'm going to go with the / here. Then the element, which is the component you want to route, that you want to render. So it's going to be the home page. So I could basically come in here and say import home. It's going to suggest for you. You can write this here on that pages. Then I'll grab this name here, self-closing home, and I lock it up there. So the next thing is we would also need to get access to other pages on our work. Remember, we have all these pages. So let's go here. I'll go with route. It needs a path. So for the path, I will go with all-tasks. It needs the component you are routing to. So it's going to auto import for me. So I need all task. As you can see, when I press enter, it auto imports for me. If it doesn't do that for you, kindly import it manually. Then you also you import and you nest it here. So I'll go with the next one, route. I'll go with the path. I'll go with possibly new -task. It needs the element, which is the component you're routing to. So it's going to be new. It's going to auto import. Okay. Then for the error page, it's not as if you're going to say, okay, I want to go to your error page. No. So currently the path we have on our work, our server, and the home page, all tax page, new tax. So if peradventure you are going to a path that does not exist on our server, this is what is going to catch it as an error. So we can't catch all the paths individually. Let's take this off first, and let's go back to our browser. And here we go. We're currently on the browser. So let's head over here. As you can see, the / simply means is the landing page, which is the home page outrightly. The very first page any person is going to view when it gets to our site. All right. So if peradventure I come in here and I say / all-tasks, it gives me all tasks. And if I come in here and I do new -task, it gives me new task, right? But do we have anything called new -tasks? We don't. Do we have anything called new? We don't. Okay, so two things to note here. Why we cannot cater for all these pages individually, like saying we didn't create new. If your user goes to new, give them error. If your user goes to another thing, give them error. How many of them can you cater for? That is why I would use an asterisk to mean that any other part that any other person, a user or a client is trying to view on our website, other than the part we've created, the star sign is going to catch it as non-existence, and it renders that page called error page for me. All right. And also, there is no way you would also tell your client, that's the second part, you tell your client that if you want to go to all task page, please go to your search here and you come here and you go to new -task. Or sorry, new -task. You can't tell your client to come here. That's where you need a set of navigational links. So two things there we need to cater for. So go back to tax, to our work. Going back to our work. Okay, so here, go with route. So here I'm going to say the path is going to be star, meaning any other path that is not on our page here, render for us, wrongly spelled, error, wrongly typed, error page. And there we have it. So if we go back to our browser and we deliberately search for something that is not in existence, it gives us error page. How about we go with something really, okay, the same thing, error page. So the / just indicates that is the name we give to it to give us home page right away. So we are done with that part. So for the edit page, it's not something that you will get to go to all the time. What I mean by that is not as if you go back to your browser and you have to click on edit to take me to a single page, I mean. All right, we're going to fix that eventually. So let's go back to our work. So we are done with this setup. The next thing is we need navigational links. We need to navigate to those different pages, right? So I will create a subfolder in my SRC, which I'm going to call layouts. So layouts here simply means things that are common on all pages. Things like navbar is common, footer is common, sidebar or dashboard could be common as well. Okay, so just come in here and put in navbar.gsx. So RAFCE, I have that on my work. Okay, so it's time for us to write some set of codes. Now, I'll go with my empty fragment. Semantic tags are important since it's nav links, navigational set of links. So we'll go with nav. Now, also remember that how does this, understanding what you're working on first is important. Now, let's take a look at the nav. We have tax duty, we have this together. That means this is our nav, quite all right. We need to have one container holding this. The container can be a div. The div will consist of an image and a text of tax duty, and also a UL that will consist of task, what's it called? Task, new task, all task, and this image. Very, very easy. All right. So let's take a look at what we need to achieve here. So going back to our work, here we have it. We have this nav here. Okay. So let's go with two divs. We'll go with two divs. So this first one here would hold nav logo, which is the div. And then this second one, div, would hold navigational links, nav links. Okay, so we need to get those images. We need to grab those images. Okay, thankfully, we already have the nav link, the logo. All right, so which is this here. We already have this, which we placed in our, what's it called, public folder. All right, so let's go back again. So how do we use this? Use images in React. Import. I'll give it nav logo, camel casing from the path. So since it's in a public folder, I don't need to specify .. There's no need. Public folder is so it makes it public generally everywhere in our work. Just go with the / nav-logo.svg, which is the same thing you have here, just the same spelling. All right. So you need to go with it that way. So in here, I would rightly go with image tag. However, before I do that, I would also want us to have this on our work. So in case I am in this part here and I want to go back home to my landing page, I don't need to go to new task or any other part or search for it. I can rightly click on this and it takes me all the way to my home page, or click on this, takes me all the way to my home page. Or if I'm on this edit page, if I click on this, it takes me back to my home page. All right. So we need a link tag for that. We use link tag for linking internally in our project, while you can use an anchor tag if you want to link externally out of your project. All right. So it's coming from React Router DOM. So you need to import link from React Router done. So I'll go with link, open and close tag. In that part, I will grab my image, and then I will go with nav logo. It's important and necessary to go with an alternative text. For this alternative text, I will just give it nav-logo. Okay, we also need a text. So I'll go with a span tag and say task duty. Okay, so we have that on our work. So the next thing to look at here is going to be the UL. So we're going to flex this. This will be on the left. This will be on close to it. Then justify content between eventually. All right. So let's grab our UL. All right. On the UL there, I would also want us to grab link tag. Very important. So we have new task. Format my work so to look better. We also require another, which would be for all tasks. And lastly, we also need that image, which is like a DP on our work. Okay, so let's go back and get those images. Very, very easy. So this is what we need. We just get this and this outrightly. So you just double tap. It gives you this, as you can see. But this is what I want. So double tap on this. Good. Click on this plus sign to preview. It gives you this. So you can export it. You could use PNG or you could use SVG. Just want to show you. So once it's done downloading, you just place it in your folder. Okay, here we go. So let's grab another, which happens to be this. One tap gives you this box. Double tap gives you this. Preview, you already have this particular feature here. So I could also do with SVG as well, or PNG. It depends on you. And I'll export. Okay, so please place this in your assets. Place those two into your asset folder. All right, I'm doing that and I'll share my screen shortly. Okay, so here we go. So in my assets, I renamed them. I gave this image is called hero. That's the hero section. So I just give it hero-image. You can also rename yours. Then for the profile picture, I gave it profile-img. Okay, so it's time for us to use this on our project. So let's go back all the way to nav. So you need to import it. So import profile image from the relative path, assets, profile image. Okay. So I'm going to place it not inside my UL. I'm going to place it here. Okay, very easy. I'm going to place it there, and all I need to involve there is just a div. Place a div here and say image, curly braces. The name was profile image. So I'll also give it an alternative text of profile-img. Okay, so this is not done. We are not done yet. Recall that we need to link to a particular page. So we need to have this navbar available so that the user can click on it. Okay, remember that. So we need to have a nav. We already have the navbar. So we need to the user to actually to see it and know what or where he or she needs to navigate to. So the navbar is not a component that you would say, I'm going to the navbar page. No, it's something that's visible at all pages. So we'll place it in between this browser router and routes, which makes it readily available for all these. If you had a footer, I would have placed it in between these parts. All right. So I'm just going to come here with navbar. It suggests for me. I'll grab it there. So if I go back to my browser, you should be able to see it there. Exactly. All right. So if I go to all tasks, you see that the navbar is here. You see all tasks has changed from home to all tasks. If I navigate to new task, this is wrong. It's going to give me an error page because we don't have new tasks. We only have new task. It gives me new task. So here's going to change to home. If I go with / home, you see that navbar is available everywhere. Now we cannot click on all this. It's clickable, but it's not taking us anywhere because we didn't have a path that is supposed to click to. All right. So what you basically need to do here on that link tag, you are supposed to have a tool attribute. All right. So let's take note of it. All -tasks, new task, and /. So let's go back to our navbar. Let's close all this. So here, I'll just grab a tool, take it out. / alone takes me home. I come here, have a tool, / new -task. The same spelling you give to it here is important. New task, all tasks. So I come in here, have a tool, and say all -task. And that's all. Okay, so let's go back to our page, our browser, and let's see what we've done. If I click on all tasks, okay, this is wrong. I think we didn't give the tool the proper name. All tasks, yeah, that was wrong. All tasks. So let's go back again. Click on all tasks, good. Click on task, new task, good. Click on this logo, it takes me back home. So we are done with the navigational link. So let's use this session to beautify the nav bar. Then the next session, we'll talk about the home. All right. So this is how it looks like. This is the nav. You see this space here and this space here, that is padding. And also Tailwind gives us a class name called container and MX Auto. It centralizes your page for you outrightly. All right. So if you go back here, and if I use my page with control minus, you see that I'm on resolution of 25%. You see that all my contents are moving all the way to the extreme end on my left-hand side. All right. When you use the class of container, it makes your work responsive. All right. So let's go back to our page, to our VS Code. So on this nav, I can clearly just have a class name and go with container space MX Auto. That is, you can get all this set up on Tailwind documentation. So that means on left and right, it should be auto. So let's go back to our page. Exactly. You see that it's centralized. It's at the middle of the page. It makes it look better. Okay. And I would also want to do something, add something here on our project, on our index.css, on the body. I want to give the entire body a maximum width. So here, I could just go with maximum width that it should work with 1600 px, and also margin 0 auto. Okay. So we've done that part. So if you go back again to the design, when you go back again to the design, you would see that it has those spaces at the left and right, which is from here to here. So using box model, what can you use to create those spaces? That is padding, to give you access, to give spaces within the content there, padding. Okay, we can go with px, py. All right, so I will go back to my VS Code. Okay, So under my navbar, I could go with PY, PX, and all that. So let's go with PY-10 and PX-4. That is left and right. So let's go back to our browser and see what we've achieved so far. Okay, so it gives me this. You see that it has adjusted a bit from the edge of the screen. So that number, those digits are not adequate. So I will need to give a more adequate numbers. So we are working on both mobile and desktop. So I'll leave this one for mobile, and for desktop, I'll go with MD. I'll go with PX-14. Go with MD PY. Let's say PY should be 5. So we need to change this one to 40. It should be 40. Or rather, we just put them together. Okay. Okay. So any screen lower than medium, which is tablet, you should go with PX4 and PY10. So medium screen and above, PY5. Okay. Then PX40. All right. Then let's go one more. I think we need to involve a large screen now. LG. I could go with possibly, let's say we go with 40. So LG PX40, then MDPX, let's use 14 for this. Then MDPY, I'll use 5. Okay, so smaller screens, lower than medium screens, which is going to be PX4, PY10, medium screen, PY5, which is top and bottom padding, MDPX14, which is left and right 14, then large screen like your laptop screens, PX40. I'm okay with the PY on large screen to be 5. So let's navigate and see what we've been able to achieve here. Okay, so it gives this to us like this. You should have also installed, you can also install mobile app simulator on Google Chrome. So it gives it to me just like this. And it looks bigger. The space looks bigger on laptop screen size. All right. So the next thing to do is to flex our work. Now, it's also important to note that the spaces here look the same. The spaces here look the same, and look the same. So I would not always want to create a class name of container PY, MD, LG for this particular feature. So Tailwind gives us this ability to customize our own work eventually. Okay, so what I'm going to do there, all right, I'm going to create a style, a class name myself, and infuse these things into it. So I'll place it in my index.css. Tailwind gives you the ability to do that. I'll just give it .wrapper. So if you want to create your own style, your own class names, and use it along with Tailwind, Tailwind gives you the ability to do that. You just need to go with @apply. So I will go with, to take up that, I can't write container here. I'll just go with full. That's what container will do. MX-auto. Okay, so to further remove this right up, I'll just come in here. I'll cut these out. I don't need this information anymore. I'll just go with wrapper. And then my index.css, I'll place this here. So anytime I need the same feature, I just go with class name of wrapper. It does the trick for you. Very, very easy. Okay. So if you go back to the browser, you see the same thing. All right. So let's go back to our layout and continue with our styling. So for the navbar, we have our wrapper there. We need to go with flex. justify content between. There's a border at the bottom. I don't want to use H2, H arrow for that. So just give it B-1. So let's go back to our browser and see what we've been able to achieve. Okay, here we go. This is the border at the bottom. Okay, well, the border comes with a color. So how do we get these colors here? Just come to this part, click on it. Click on it, as you can see. It tells you this is the color they used. This is the color they used, B6. So you just tap on it. Then you go back to your VS Code. So Tailwind, you can write your colors, border. I'm not giving it to the entire part, it's just border -B, which is border bottom, minus. To write custom colors, I'll drop it in there. So it gives me that particular color. So let's sort out this part of our work. So remember, task, duty, text, and the image are together. So we need to fix that part as well. Okay, we need to flex it and place item centered and give it a gap. All right. It's also important to note that there is a color and there is a font size. There's a font weight attached to this tax duty text. So you click on it, double tap on it. It tells you they used a weight of 600. You used font size of 27. Then this is the color. Okay, so two things. We're going to flex that first div. Then on that span tag, we'll give it this information that we need. Okay, so let's go back and have that on our work. Tax duty app. Okay, so let's go. So we'll flex this div. Flex, items, center. Then I'll give it a gap of 2. Then this should also have a class font -600, text -27px, text for the color. Okay, so we have that there. So I will give this a class name of width. So write your custom names in Tailwind. I'll give it 39px. You can get these sizes from the Figma design as well. All right, so let's go back and see what we've been able to do. Okay, we have this looking like this. Okay, we were supposed to flex the link. Sorry, that was an oversight. So let's go back and flex the link. So I flex the div. Don't forget that this div is just having just one tag inside, which happens to be this link. So this is what we are supposed to flex. So class name, flex, items, center, then gap of 2. So let's go back and see how it looks. Okay, so we have this here. We are done with that part. Let's fix this other part here, which is the second div. Second div, very easy. So come all the way to this part here, give it a class name of flex, item center, gap of 10, then the UL, and class name. I'm using it to flex, items center, gap of 10, font is 500, text, as the font size is 22px. So let's grab the color. So this is the font size, the font weight. You need to grab the color so that I don't want to write them individually here. Give the class name and give this font weight of 500. No need for that. Just give it on the parent, which is the UL here. So let's go back and grab the colors. So this is it here. If you click on it, 522px. So I just need this color. So it's the same thing with this one, 522px. All right. Okay, so let's move on from there and let's do the same thing that we have here. So we'll just fix that outrightly here. Text hyphen, the color there. And that's all we need to achieve for that part. Okay. So we need to make it responsive before we end this section. If I click on All Task, I go to All Task, you can see it's changing here. If I click on Home, it takes me to Home. Okay. So we need to make it responsive, but don't forget something else was done here. It's just showing us new task. It's not showing us the two navigational links. So React Data DOM gives us what we call the use match. We can use that on our work as well. Okay, so let's just go straight up and fix that part. Okay, so what we need to do here, just say comma use match. All right, so we need to create some instances here. We'll give it a variable name to hold a particular route. So I'll go with const is task, just a variable name, then use match. It's a variable name to hold the path that I want to work with. All task, yeah. Then const is new, assigned to use match. The same path name you gave it to it on your app.jsx. Then I'll call it new task. So by the time we click on new task, for instance, it tells us that this is the current path. It matches that path. Any other thing that is not supposed to, that doesn't match that path should go off. That's just what this use match would actually do. So we need to go with our short circuit evaluation here. Very, very easy. Short circuit evaluation where you have to use your ampersand. Okay, that is your double and your not operator. Okay, so I'll just come in here and go with curly braces and say not is new and this part all task and then grab me this link. Let's make this look good. Okay, so we also need to grab for the other one, not is new and / all tasks and I'll grab this link. So let's format document with. Okay, so the only way this one will show, this new task will show, is if we are actually clicking on that new task page. When we click on it, this is the only thing that will show. That means this is going to be true. The other ones will be false. We only click on this one. When this one turns to true, then this one shows. Then this one will be false outrightly. All right. So let's go back to our browser and see what we've been able to achieve here. So this is the home page. By default, we've not clicked on either of this. So if I click on new task, okay, I think we omitted something. Let's go back and see what we omitted. Okay, this is task, sorry. Task. That was a mistake. So let's go back and see. Let's go back to home. So I'm clicking on this. This is true, so it goes off and it gives me this component. If I click on this one, it's true. It goes off and gives me this particular component one more time here. So that's exactly what the use match will do for you, as you can clearly see on this part here. If I click back on this home page here, going back home, it gives me this home here. So the other thing we need to do here is to make it responsive. So when I click on this, we shouldn't be seeing these whole features here. It should be hidden. We need to grab, what's it called? A component from DaisyUI that gives us a drop down eventually. Okay, so we need to take this off. So let's go back to DaisyUI. DaisyUI. We just need to grab a drop down. We'll just need to grab a drop down. Okay, so we just need to grab the drop down from DaisyUI. This is Daisy. So components. You could just search for it, drop down. We're not provided a mobile design, so we're just going to make sure it looks good on mobile. I would like for us to use drop down menu. Let's see which is good. No, this is not it. Let's say right. Let's grab the one that shows us at the end. This. Okay. Drop down button. Let's see the one to use here, button. Bottom and okay, drop down top. Let's see if this would do. Okay, so I will need you all to use this particular one. This makes more sense. Drop down bottom default aligns to end bottom horizontally. All right, so you just grab this, then go back to your app. Okay, so we need to use it. All right, so outrightly, we don't want this to show on tablet, on mobile phone. So we need to display none of this information here. All right, so what we're going to simply do here is to come here using Tailwind class names and say most likely the div should have MD of hidden, meaning on medium screen and above should be hidden. Okay, or sorry, let's just give it hidden from the get-go. Let's take it off. I will go with hidden. When you do hidden, it's going to be hidden on all screen sizes. That's exactly what it means. So let's go back to our work. You see, it's no more here. Likewise, it's no more on desktop. Okay, so it's hidden, but we need to bring it up when it comes to when we are on medium screen, which is tablet and above. All right, so for that, I will just put MD and say from medium screen and above, it should be flexed. That alone is going to show it. So let's go back here. As you can see, it's here now. So that is where we need to bring that drop down from DaisyUI here. So if we go back to our work, just at the bottom here, just after these nav links, I'll just put it in here. So let's just give it a name, drop down, so that it doesn't confuse either of any person. So you drop it here, format your work. Okay, so we have this feature here. So let's take a look at it. So it's reflecting here. This is the sample. It's also going to reflect on other screen sizes. We need to also remove it from medium screens and above. That is just how to do it. So let's come back here. All right. So here we'll specify the breakpoints we don't want it to show. So I'll just give it MD hidden, meaning from medium screens and above, this should be hidden. So if you go back to your work, exactly how we want it. You come back here, we have this feature here. So let's take care of this, and that's the last part for this section. Okay, so what do we need to do here? Very, very easy. What we need to do here, we need to take this off. Taking that off, I would use Google Fonts to get what we call menu icon, or if you want to call it hamburger icon, is fine. So just go to Google Fonts. Google Fonts provides us look icons as well. Google Fonts provides us icons. So here, I'll just click on icons. Okay, so I could basically just go with the name of menu, search for it. This is it here already. Could search for it. So I'll just go with menu. So I will just download, possibly I'll download the SVG. Anyone works fine, trust me. All right, so I'll just go with this SVG here. Then ensure to save it in your asset. I'm going to save as. Ensure to save it up in your asset. And I would also rename it for easy location, or for accessibility, to make it easy for us to locate that particular image. So I will give it a name of menu-open. Okay, so let's go back to our work. We need to import menu open from assets, menu open. So on the image part here, this is going to be for the image. We need to take off that click because we don't need to see that click there. So you take this off and go with image and go with menu open, menu logo, or menu image. So we have that fixed on our work. A class of button, role of button, btn. So you take this off, take that off. We need to get it to be rounded -LG. Okay, so let's take a look at it and see. This is the project. Okay, we have it here. So I want to grab the color. I want to grab the color for the background. Okay, so I will need us to use this color that comes with it here. So you just click on this button. You see a color here. Double click on it. Just double click on the button. It gives you that color. This is it here. One click gives you this frame. This is what I want, the button. Good. I'll click on this. It has been copied. So I'll go all the way to my VS Code and give it a BG. Okay, here we go. Give it a BG hyphen. Okay, so it gives that to me. Then we are done with this image. So let's go and fix the UL. Okay, drop down content, menu, BG base 100, rounded box Z1, W-52, P2, this is fine, shadow. So let's go out with the names we need, the link, these links. So I'll just copy this, I'll copy that, drop it here, copy this, and substitute it for this. So let's see what we've been able to achieve. Let's see what we have been able to achieve. And here we go. We have it looking like this, but it's still not as fine as I would like it to be. I want to give this UL a particular color. And don't forget that this font sizes needs to be bigger than this. I would also want to give this, the text a particular color as well. So let's go together. So I wouldn't want to do them individually here. That's like repeating yourself. I'll just give it to the parent, which is the UL here. So I'll basically say font of, remember, we're not provided a design for the mobile. I'm just getting this. So text hyphen, let's give it 22 px. Then Let's give the text a color. I'm going to pick the same color here. Give it the same color. Then okay, not to worry. This is text. My thing. Let's see what we are doing wrong. Okay, PX, wrongly spelled. PX. So let's give the last thing here. I want to give it a border. Hyphen the color we used and the thickness of it, border hyphen 1. So let's go back and see what we've been able to achieve here. Okay. Okay, something is, let's see what we can fix here. Did something wrong here. Font be 500. Okay, I gave this 22px, sorry. It should be 22px, not 220. Box would always arise. So let's go and see. Okay, so if I click on home, it takes me there. Click on new task, I'm on new task. Click on all task, I'm on all task. New task, I'm on new task. Go back here, it gives us this flare. So let's take a look at how it looks like on tablets. Okay, so on tablets, it also makes sense. So that's your duty as a developer to ensure that it looks good on all screen sizes, all right? So I guess we'll leave it, we'll end it here. The next section will come up with, we'll have to handle the home design, which is the UI, all right? So happy coding, guys, and see you in the next session.